What's up? It's your boy Carcino here, and let's get into it. Remember, I told you guys about the story with Timbaland and Keri Hilson and Beyonce, and how that tied into the Blueprint 3 disaster with Jay-Z and Timbaland. That also put a rift in a friendship and put a ripple into a situation what many people didn't understand. At one point, Solange and Beyonce wasn't tight like you thought they were. They weren't angry at each other. It was Solange's time to branch out on her own and be identified as her own. As Solange said in her own words, with the talent of Beyonce and everything, and when it comes to them, that the Knowles, they're like the Cosbys. And she's always been known as the more artistic one in the family. But it all gets thrown out once they see the name Knowles. They just ignore all that. And she just gets wiped away. But she's also always said she's more artistic than Beyonce. And that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way and thought that, she was going against her sister and she's hating. And it came off negative. But in 2009, the Amiri, Solange, Keri Hilson, these girls were supposed to launch the new age R&B for the rest of the women and all this stuff. And none of them really catapulted to the next level except for Keri Hilson. Now, like they had like all these galas. They was friends. They actually talked and worked together and talked. They were friends. Went to the same modeling events. Then the Met Gala in 2010, I believe, or 9 or whatever. I don't know. One of those years. It was a little friction between the two. But it wasn't a lot. It was more of a conversation that she had to have with Keri, because Solange would go there, and it had to be addressed. The situation got to a point where it had to be addressed, even though she refusely said, I was not talking about Beyonce. She had to explain that to Solange, who came and took Beyonce's aid again at an award ceremony. They both was at the red carpet event, but they were there separately. That nobody wanted to embarrass themselves at the event. But it was a situation where she wanted to get things cleared up, and she did. She kind of bridged the gap to, so that the understanding could be in place. But Beyonce still didn't want to be around her. She's just like, okay, well, I don't want her writing for me or nothing like that. So she just didn't work with Beyonce anymore. And once Beyonce don't work with you no more, or nobody else, that circle don't work with you no more. And so now she was like just her and Timbaland at one side. And then Solange is like, look, that's B. She says everything is good, but, as far as y'all working together, that's not going to happen anymore. So that was done. And once that became done, Timbaland, ended up, who had Justin Timberlake. I said Jay-Z wanted to work with Timbaland because he wanted Timberlake to be on the album. So if he wanted Justin Timberlake, he knew he was going to have to go through Timbo. So when they both come back to the table, Timbaland realized it was his fault for everything, and he wanted to get back to making some chips. And Jay-Z coming out with an album, that's some money. So when he saw Jay, it was a whole different experience. Hey, man, I'm sorry, Jay, man. I'm sorry, man. I was tripping, man. It was not my fault. I mean, it wasn't your fault. It was all mine. I was tripping. Man. And I'm sorry about, getting in the way of these hoes, man. You know what I'm saying? You do your thing. I do mine. Jay like, shh, dude, I brought my wife here tonight. We don't talk about no hoes. That's in the past. Don't bring that up at all. What is you doing? You talking way too much. I'm sorry, man. I'm just happy we back together, man. I missed your 40th. You missed mine. You know, man, we got to move forward. Jay was like, I sent the gift. You ain't get it? Oh, yeah, I got the gift, but I mean, we ain't hang out. Like, we always used to hang out. So, that's all that happened on that situation. Those two, Solange and Keri Hilson, is still cool to this day as far as I know, but it put a rift in their friendship. They used to be a lot closer until that situation happened over that song and that remix. And the guy that wrote it. And Timberland didn't write it. You know. That wasn't, he just was in charge of Keri Hilson. You know, that was his project. Then a lot of people's was switched around to where Cassie became the new, you know, the new one. And then Diddy kind of took her, and then that was it. Like, that's it. But yeah, Cassie was the one they were grooming to be the next big thing. So it kind of was like never Solange moment. And even right now, she has probably the best R&B CD out right now, and no one's talking about Solange. It's just terrible, you know. And she's always been the one that took the risk, take the chances, cut off all her hair. She's always had that artistic stand on her own, the strongest one in the family type vibe. She's always been like that. She's been more into hip hop and rap and all different angles of the art form of just being different and expressing herself. And she never could be taken seriously by everybody because of the success of her sister. So they talk about Kelly Rowland and Beyonce. I'm like, y'all forgot about Solange. Solange has suffered more than anybody in the group. She didn't have any Destiny's Child success. You know, only thing she had was like the Johnson's family reunion stuff, and that was about it. Her success has been very marginal. You know, so she gets modeling gigs and stuff like that, or fashion walkways and all of that stuff. But other than that, you know, her success has been marginalized. She was the one that was pregnant at 17, got married at 17. You know, I'm like, she was out there doing it. She was the leader, even though she was the baby sister. She was out there leading the pack. But I don't want to drag this out too much longer. I just wanted to let y'all know that's how everything ended on the back end. But I'm out. Don't forget to subscribe. Enjoy the rest of the videos. I'm done.